Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to The Boys Season 2, Episode 7, titled Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker. Congresswoman Victoria Newman's sham congressional hearing against Vought takes place in 3 days. Are we going to let her criminalize superheroes when we need them most? We have to stand up against such blatant partisan politics. And then you know the deal by now. So, when I was talking about Lamplighter's powers in the last episode, saying how I hoped either because Sean Ashton was he played Iceman that they gave him Pyro's power set, or they chose Sean Ashton because it was Pyro's power set on Iceman. I may have completely forgotten that this is actually based off of a comic series. So I was full expecting to have to eat my words here, expecting there to be comments like, actually, this is how it's always been in the comics, and there was nothing about Sean Ashton or Ashton having been chosen because of that. But so I went on the Boys Wiki, specifically looking at the comics version of Lamplighter, because I heard that there's very different between the show and the comics. And turns out that he was actually basically a fire Green Lantern. Like he had this lamp that actually let him make constructs out of fire and all that. And it basically gave him his powers instead of him just being able to amplify and manipulate existing fires. So, yeah, it turns out they did change his powers, so could still have been there. Um, Also, I was reading through his backstory because I was interested, now that I know that it's vastly different, to see what his character was like. Yeah, he was fucked up. Like, apparently, in the comic, he intentionally killed Mallory's grandchildren as retaliation against, I think it was Huey, and the Seven. They actually kicked him out of the Seven because of that. Like, they knew it, and they kicked him out because they didn't want a full on war with the boys. And so, as opposed to them not knowing what happened in this version. Also, apparently, Stormfront's male in the comics and has a full on swastika on their cape, so little more nuanced in this show. I say little more because it wasn't long before they made it clear that she is not someone you want to be rooting for, but yeah. Could have been much worse if it had been comic accurate. Then again, that is the universe with President Homelander, so. Anyway, let's get this episode started in 3, 2, 1, go. And I've been speaking Amazon's praise about actually playing when I click that button. Seems there's nudity in every episode lately. This is turning into Game of Thrones. Still never actually watched an episode of that. Also, I've seen a couple people saying that she may have been the one who exploded Raina's head, but I don't logistically see how that could have been the case, considering they've apparently been locked up in that facility. Unless her being electrocuted at the end there was a massive ploy, but That sounded like J.K. Simmons. Was that meant to be a J. Jonah Jameson parody? No, maybe Joe Rogan. I don't know. He looks familiar. She really is radicalizing the um redditors. Well, he wasn't bulletproof. This was a weird spot to shoot someone. Normally, you see them aim here. Why? I mean, you really think you can get Becca in on that? Or do you mean Starlight? So who was trying to kill, not kill, to Butcher? Well, that did go well. Hmm. Plus, I've got Kimiko to keep me in line. You can act like it's not going to affect you. You can act like you don't care, but when it actually comes to it, it's still family. And it may affect you a lot more than you could ever realize. So, I, up until the car scene in the last episode, didn't realize that she was drawing power into herself to then expel it. I thought she was putting out so much radiant energy that it was affecting the electricity. I wonder how Butcher feels about that being in the same compound that he was in. Also, why is he just casually watching porn? Like, no one I know would A, watch it with someone else in the room, and B, just casually watch it. Like, yeah, pretty much. That is what he was going to say. Do you think he could use a cigarette too? Or does he need something stronger than that? I'm not familiar with that term. I wanna know what that term means, but ah, that was very easy to figure out with the context, and yet I just you're giving this information away too easily. I have a feeling your dad's not dead. That was just a excuse to get you there. You came when you thought he was dead, but you're not willing to stay when he's alive. I have a feeling you're rightfully going over that balcony. All I'm saying is I wouldn't have blamed him for just yeet. That's not exactly the kind of person you want around a child. A child. I mean, she did warn you that she'd done fucked up things because of Homelander. So why does she know the doctor responsible for? Hmm. Yeah, I can't see that happening. Are they really protesting Newman because she's a person of color as a congresswoman? Says your name for the last time. Yep. Saying that's the same for gun. So this is a church thing, given that they're serving fresco. And those two are it. Yep, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. She did say she was bisexual. Like, rightio that. The new girlfriend has no say over what the kid gets to do. That was, assuming that's correct, that is a pretty altruistic approach. If he does take the kid, then what's to stop her from joining Butcher and the boys? Really, mate? Well, I mean, that's pretty honest. I'm pretty sure this would get his confession thrown out of court. Put the milk in first. To make it even more intimidating, he should have put the finger out. Just a very posh, well, death glaring him. This isn't 42D. Well, I guess this is why he's only credited for 3 episodes. What the? He's fucking torched himself. And wanted to do it in front of his statue. I mean, he did get her out. Huh. Interesting. His hand's not burnt. I'm surprised you thought to break the arm before cutting it. Yeah. She's on Edgar's level. No, wait. He never goes up to 99. Okay. Weren't you told to evacuate this floor at Black Noir? Well, that would explain why he threw that workers one in the bin. Are there no cameras in the conference room? Hmm. Came to save you? Same way you got in. And this is where you drive up to the gate, tell him that, I'm sorry, that was loud. I have a feeling this isn't going to go where they want it to. Hmm. Well, oh, hey, the speedster's got too. Maybe it's someone in the church, because that was the one that was getting in the way of um A Train coming back. Victoria, I don't think you're making. I'm surprised that feed wasn't cut long before then. At least Mallory and Newman made it out. And then they just have Starlight singing it. Okay. Huh. Well, shit. That. I was not where I was expecting that to go. I was fully expecting Vogabond to, um, lie about what happened. Like, put. Say he'd been threatened by Butcher to give a false confession, get his family and that under protection, and all that. But no, the I don't know who the speaker, what the speaker's actual title is, but him, Vogelbaum, a bunch of people in the crowd, that Fastlane or what's his name? I don't know where I got Fastlane from. That's definitely not it. Not Shockwave. Where did I get Fastlane from? Um, a bunch of people in the crowd. Suspiciously not Victoria Newman or Major Mallory, Colonel Mallory. I mean, um, hmm. I mean, to be fair, if those had been taken out, it would have been seen as a direct attack on that side of the case. So I guess that makes sense. However, taking out the key witness as well also makes it seem like an attack on that side of the case. Then again, I guess not as much if you put it in with the chaos and everything, and the fact that the speaker was the first one taken out. I can see how that can be seen as not as direct an attack as um, the congresswoman or the. What was Mallory's title? Was she CIA or yeah, she was former deputy director. Okay. So, and she's been going after Vought for years. So I guess. So I'm just gonna put it out here. I knew about the head exploding. I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I have been confused up until this point of this season because I remember hearing that a lot of people got their heads exploded this season. And so I thought it was a once every episode. Maybe there was a every couple episodes and there was just a batch of people. No, it's one right at the start, then a whole slew of people in a Congress hearing. Huh. Also, I don't know how it could be the person who I'm pretty sure it is. Or the other potential person, because the other potential person seemed to have no tact or whatever, just exploding people willy nilly whenever she felt like it. This is, I forget her name, the shaved head one from the last episode. But the other one, like, you'd think you would have seen something in that scene from them as well. Like, I don't see how they would have been able to do it without being seen. Like, I'm trying to not say who I'm pretty sure it is, even though I'm fairly certain I've slipped up in the past. But, I mean, everything's going to be revealed in the next season, but also, can we just jump back to Lamplighter killing himself? Because that was unexpected. Like, sure, he has massive regrets and everything for what he's done. He technically did do what he set out to do when they entered the tower. Like, he set out to kill himself in front of his own statue and all that. Like, he did kill himself, it just wasn't in front of the statue. And B, he set out to help Huey free Starlight, which, by setting off himself on fire, he activated the sprinklers and the emergency lights. The emergency lights were able to power up Starlight enough to get her out of her cell. So he did what he set out to do, but also he introduced me to a new urban dictionary term, so thanks, I guess. Like, also, I just want to point out the uncomfortable irony of everything that Homelander and Stormfront were saying in their speech at the start. I got reminded of this because it's literally the thumbnail for this episode. Everything that they were saying, and there were so many people of other races just cheering them on and everything. Like, these people are talking about you. They don't care if you are an immigrant or if you were generations ago brought to this country or anything. Like, they themselves are immigrants, and yet they're talking about a lot of the people you could see in the crowd cheering for them, and just the uncomfortable irony of that. Ugh. And the problem is, it happens in real life too. Like, you've seen speeches and everything of people who subscribe to that ideology have the people that they are attempting to oppress cheering them on without even realizing it. And heck, you have people of other races speaking for them sometimes. Like, just fucking. I personally, and I know this is going to make me say, "Oh, I'm better than these people." Like, I don't understand how someone can ever subscribe to that. Like, it's just some insane borders that don't matter, that we as humans set up ourselves. Like, this person wanted to have this amount of land. Okay, we're just going to section off this area around it. That is now a country. Like, those borders mean nothing. The skin color is just how much of a certain chemical your body produces to protect you from the sun, equidistant from the distance of the equator. Like, it matters for nothing. And yet people can just use that as against everyone and make that their whole personality, and just, I don't understand it. Like, fucking, it's just, I I like the show for putting it at the forefront, making it so obvious that they condemn this action, showing what is literally happening in like first world countries nowadays. It's happening in the country that they're showing it happening in this fictional universe. And it's done nothing. It's done nothing to change anything. And the fact that these were all released in 2020, meaning they were filmed 2019 at the late, well, maybe start of 2020, because this was September. And with everything that happened in America that year, this storyline just was perfectly timed to be released universally with everything that happened in America. And yet, it's still happening. Like, and I know I said I'm glad that they toned down Stormfront from the comics into this show. But maybe that was a mistake. Maybe that was a mistake. Just fucking show the character as the author of the comic intended. Just have it out there. And then maybe they can't stand behind it as much. Like, fucking. Don't get me wrong, I like this season. I like the show. I like the actors, how they're putting on the characters and everything. I like the episode. It's just, it pisses me off because it happened in the real life too. Like, this is meant to be a satirical take on superheroes in the real world, and so you need to have real world elements. But when the real world is somehow worse than the satirical take, it's a problem. Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong. I live on the complete other side of the world. It is not as bad here. We still have this. I will never say that we do not have it. We very clearly do have these exact same problems. We are not as bad as America. We are not as bad as England. We are not as bad as some of the places you hear about. But we are worse than is reported on. And, I mean, you can see us getting worse as well. Like, but hey, I'm going to decompress for a bit before watching the next episode, because I don't want to start this on such a dour note. So I'm going to end this here. I'll catch you in the next one.